Now, I recently saw an interview, I think, with Irv, and I'm not sure if he produced that or not. Do you know who produced that beat? This
Jazzo produced Ain't
Jazzo.
No,
That's right,
and
Jazzo. That song took Jay to another level. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It was like you had some of the street classics, but that song right there now gave him radio play. It gave him, a vibe with the ladies. It just really took things to another level. So here you are, filmmaker. You're now doing some of these music videos that are, you can feel that they're groundbreaking. At least when did you know, wait a minute, this is different. This is a different vibe.
to be honest, I never even got to that point because I'm always like in mode of production. So you're not really thinking about, oh, this is gonna do this. Because the reality was when we were shooting the Ain't No video, Dead Presidents was already number one. Like it was
Mhm.
already on the charts on the. I don't know where it's on the charts for the actual single. I know it was gold because there's the gold plaque over there. But
Oh yeah, I like that
the
little quick
video was
flex
number
on them.
one. So
Real
we're
quick
shooting
flex. Flex on that, saying that gold plaque. You
so
got you
we're
gotta go
shooting a
ahead.
video.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so we're shooting a video for the. I'm shooting a video for the artist, and he's already number one. So, but the thing is, the pressure wasn't that. The pressure was just to do the video
Mm.
because we're shooting in Miami, and it's pouring down raining, and it's supposed to be Miami, and it's supposed to be sunny and gorgeous,
Oh
but
wow.
it's not. It's gray and pouring. So I'm stressing about that. I'm not even thinking about anything else. So those are the headaches that I go through. So I'm never thinking about success and blah blah blah. I'm thinking about the job.
So, and talking about that, for you, how do you handle some of these things that come up, man? Some of these, now it's raining, and so you gotta make, you gotta find somewhere to get cover, and how do you deal with some of the obstacles that come up in these, filming situations, and in this point in time, still music videos. How do you problem solve that stuff on the fly?
I mean, the goal is to have a cover set, but sometimes you don't have a cover set because if you're going to Miami to shoot outside, you really don't think about shooting inside. So what I had to do is just find spots that look good that are covered. So we found this one spot where it was outside, but it was under an awning and it was pillar. So we did the main performance of Jay-Z and Foxy Brown in front of the pillar. That's covered, even though it's raining outside, we're not getting wet. Then we shot inside the lobby of the hotel. So, those hotels are old school Art Deco. So it's going to look good. We just got to convince the people to let us shoot there. And they weren't planning on us shooting there. We were just staying there. So
Right.
you got to just sort of be creative.
Man, and now you dropped a little bit earlier, obviously one of the icons in the game, Notorious B.I.G., man. Working with Biggie, at that point in time, I think, Rockefeller was kind of chasing the success of Bad Boy. And so, Biggie being who he was and being who he became, what was it like, working with the Notorious B.I.G.? What was, I'm sure there was a lot of weed smoke in the air, a few other things. But what was it like working with the King of New York?
The King of New York was cool. Like I had no idea that that Jay had admired him so much. But that came into play when we did the Dead Presidents video because he wouldn't shoot the scene until Biggie showed up, and Biggie was late. So we really just sat around for a while. So when we did the Ain't No video, he was also late. He was also just chilling in the hotel. So we had to wait for him to show up just to support. Like if you look at the video, he's not really in it too much. He's more of like a background player. He's just chilling, rolling a blunt at the table at one spot. And then we recreated a quick shot from Scarface where they stand in front of the bank and then they wave their hands and then the boys come in with duffel bags of money. And that was kind of it. And I have to proudly say I think I'm the only person who got to direct Jay-Z and Biggie in two videos at the same, two videos in a row. I don't know anyone else has, but if they have, bring the receipts. But Biggie he was more like a class clown though. Like he would snap on you like quick. So I just remember walking up to him and everyone else in the crowd, and he'd look you up and down and say something funny. So you gotta just get ready to get riffed on.
Wow.
But he was mad cool though. His persona on record wasn't the same as his persona in real life.
Now I gotta have you talk about the streets is watching. That was something that also took, I think, Jay's career to another level, man. Talk about the making of that and how that actually it was more like a mini movie, man. Talk about Streets is Watching. It's legendary.
Okay, well, thank you. So basically, what happened to Streets is Watching is that Rockefeller was dabbling with other directors, and that's their business. It's business. You got to do what you got to do. So they went to get like a certain look for the Sunshine video, which was Jay-Z, Foxy Brown, and Babyface. So that was very pop song, pop R&B, hip hop song, but the video was not in line with what the audience was looking for when it came to Jay-Z, because Jay-Z before that, we did do the Ain't No video, but right before that was Dead Presidents. That was a hardcore street video, but it wasn't street. It wasn't grimy. It was more street business. So there, as his album Reasonable Doubt was blowing up, people were having a certain image of him. So when he came out with Sunshine, that was very pop bubblegum video, with dancers and colorful this and roller coasters and all that stuff. So I just get a call from Damon, and he's like, yo, I need to talk to you, come out to Jersey. So I drive out to Jersey, go to his crib. He sort of runs it down. It's like, oh, we did this video with Hype, and it's a good video, but it's not his personality. So we need to do something harder, bring him back to the streets. So I hopped in his Benz, and we just drove around Jersey as he played each track that he wanted to do a video for. And the project was called In My Lifetime at first. So it wasn't called Streets is Watching, but Streets is Watching was one of the songs. And so he went through each song. I think this was Shaka Pilgrim's idea, who worked at Rockefeller, but Damon's the one who introduced me to it. So I just said, okay, let's just sort of write a loose script around all these different songs. And it was basically going to be a long form music video. And what that means is like, it's going to be packaged, one title, but it's going to be like a video album with skits in between. So that wasn't really done. Maybe Michael Jackson, maybe, but that was the whole idea. And the goal was not to release any,
That's groundbreaking. I mean, at that point in time, I'm just thinking about your creative process of, you working with the artist and coming up with something that is tailored to the artist and where they're trying to go in their direction. I mean, to me, that speaks to your brilliance and genius. And I mean, in the midst of, you got to do your job and you got to come up with these things. Working with hip hop artists is not always the easiest, bro. Like,
no, it's not the easiest, and especially if they're touring. So Jay was touring with Puffy. Actually, he was on the Puffy tour at the time. So the not the Puffy tour, the Bad Boy tour, with Bad Boy headlining. So it was hard to even schedule that. But yeah, so the goal was to take all these videos, and they weren't going to release any of them. The only one they were going to release was Streets is Watching single. That was the only one that was going to be released as a singular video. Everything else was going to be sold. So we didn't have to worry about any curse words or nudity. So we just went all in, violence and all that fun stuff. So he just built this light story plot that takes Jay from the projects to this hood to the turnpike to anything you can think of that would go as a skit in between songs. That's what we were doing. Def Jam was supposed to pay for it. For whatever reason, they didn't want to pay for it because they had got that distribution deal with Def Jam. But so apparently they put up their own money, and we knocked it out. We had fun doing it. We had 8 days to shoot it, but we shot the whole shebang, full crew, 35 millimeter cranes, whatever you want, dancers, cars, anything you could think of. We treated it like a mini movie, and that's what it was.
So, I mean, here it is in your career. You're at the point where, you are doing a lot of different things. Then I think around this time, is this when you make the move to LA? Like, tell me about.
No, there was a little bit. It was a little further after that, because after that, I was in demand. I mean, people were wanting to hire me. So yeah. I'm doing video after video after video, Killer Prees, like an artist like All City, these two cats from Brooklyn. Clark Kent produced one of the tracks. So I work with the same people a lot, like especially producers. All City was one of my favorite groups that just didn't blow up, and I think it was more the label's fault than them because their album was hot. So I
Right.
did like 3 videos for them. They were also signed to Onyx's label as well. Uh, and like I said, Killer Priest, Lord Finesse, a couple of videos for him. I say this as humble as possible. We just do these videos and then they go #1. And it's usually the one that the label doesn't know is going to go #1. For example, when we did All City, they were like, oh, let's just do this video. It's like 40 grand. They weren't really behind it, but it was a hot song. Premiere produced the song, I'm sorry. And the song was hot. We just did that video as sort of like a throwaway because it was with Geffen. They were going to move to MCA, but they had to do the video. And the video was tight. The song was tight. Shit went #1. Boom.
Wow.
Next time, other video I did for Lord Finesse, we did 2 videos. The label didn't know which one to choose. But the video that they put the most money behind was the single, like it was a love song. But the video that blew up and went #1 was the one that had KRS-One in it. It had Fat Joe in it. It had Big L in it. So, you just got to pick and choose. You just want to keep it moving and go to the next one.